What's up, guys? Happy week. Happy Monday. Welcome to another stream. Hope you guys started the week positively. So again, this is a pre-market analysis that you are doing to try to look for the APOS setups for tomorrow session basically. So we are going to look at different assets. We look at the Forex, starting with dollar index, indices, commodities, mostly gold and oil, a little bit of crypto, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and then the individual currency pairs. We go around a few different currency pairs to try to see what can we expect. It's going to be a really busy week. Especially, it's already starting tomorrow. We have the job openings, so that's already the first big one. Consumer confidence as well, but job opening is going to be the one to pay attention to. And then you have inflation in Australia, Bank of Japan, Fed, Bank of England, and all the labor data also being announced. Until Friday we have non-farm payroll. It's going to be a busy week, so we need to be aware of that when trying to predict or look for setups this week, because we may have the market not really committing towards making the commitment to go or towards one direction until the news are released, especially on Wednesday. Or it can be slightly the opposite. We actually can have price maybe finally gaining a little bit of momentum just to feel the spice towards one side, and then with the news it might start a new cycle, might change, and yeah, basically reverse and start a new cycle. It was quite a good momentum day in the market today. So basically the dollar ended up respecting. So what have you seen from last week, correct? We noticed that dollar index had broken this high, which basically starts giving an indication that it wanted to go slightly higher, a little bit more towards this level. After we broke that high, price broke this low, so basically also opening the door to go further down. So at this point you have both options at this moment. Price end up respecting and breaking new highs in here. In my opinion, we haven't really reacted from a valid level, which means that I would still be open to the idea that dollar index still wants to go at least somewhere inside here. What happened afterwards is that price basically tested this left shoulder, right? That's basically the first move of today, was a reaction from that left shoulder, and that turns it a bit more bullish. So price used that level and it eventually managed to go and break this highs, and we are getting or got really close to that level in there. So the first level in terms of space that we're looking for after the break of this high, basically price almost filled that zone in there. Yes, there's maybe a little bit more of room in here, and maybe the break of the proper break of this highs may open actually the door to go even further up, and that's maybe what this engulfing here means. The euro dollar actually broke a low, and in my opinion that low is also relevant, that the euro dollar wants to go lower, even though now it's basically moving a little bit more to the upside in here. So we start having now a little bit more of this price, and I would like, and I still believe that this week we are going to, even if by any chance dollar index wants to do this, I do believe that we are going to go somewhere in there first before going all the way up. So I'm looking for these lows eventually to be taken. Again, this low in here personally didn't really react from anything relevant, and there are maybe these two levels in here that you can aim for. So that's going to be eventually what I'll be aiming for. It may not happen tomorrow, it may just happen on Wednesday. So we'll see. Our price may actually gain even more momentum tomorrow. Perhaps maybe just reacting from this previous level and gain momentum tomorrow. And therefore by Wednesday, or this, when you have the Fed, maybe price is somewhere in there, all of a sudden goes down, and maybe it's going to be somewhere in here for the NFP, and then you can go up after that. We'll see. But personally, I would prefer to see actually price going slightly more towards this level, even before breaking that high in there. So there you go. We open a little bit more space after such a ranging week, past week. And now we basically can retest that, and we still haven't really reached that level. So I could still see eventually this dollar index moving more to the upside. So we are moving away from this level, and yeah, my favorite setup is going to be whenever price comes in here to try to look for that opportunity if that plays out. Otherwise, there's maybe something in here that price can still react from. Basically, price already reacted from that one. This one is a bit fresh. I have that level in there. And a little bit of compression already from here to there. So we'll see. There's maybe something in here that dollar index can still use. Another situation that you can think of when you are starting to predict these movements is that if by any chance I do want to see dollar index maybe reacting from here and making this type of move, if that's what's about to happen, then I want this high or whatever high price reacts or price creates. I don't want it to react from a valid level. I want it, for example, to perhaps break a small high and make that move to the downside, or maybe break a little bit into whatever compression is in here and then move to the downside. Even if it's just a small break, that basically gives me this information that price most likely still wants to go higher, and that's going to increase my confidence that actually then looking for a trade in there. So yes, it does matter where basically that high reacts from in there. Moving along, so again, dollar index tomorrow is going to be interesting. We'll see in the morning where it how it's going to move, and then in the afternoon for the job openings news release around the US session. That's going to be perhaps the best opportunity to look for tomorrow. The indices, so we have the S&P. It hasn't really reacted from the level I was looking for yet, which was slightly higher. It just fake out that level and it tried to go slightly lower in there. So we are going to be able to range a little bit in here, I believe, until maybe there's something else going on in here. Again, in my opinion, we haven't really created the lower low. I think there's maybe more room, a little bit more to the downside in here, even though we created this double bottom. So we'll see, and if let's see if the indices are going to commit actually before Wednesday. On Wednesday, aside from the FOMC, we're going to have also, especially Wednesday and Thursday, you're going to have big tech announcing their earnings. I think it's going to be Meta. Then on Thursday it's going to be Apple and Amazon. So aside from just the Fed, there's going to be still plenty of catalysts that can affect the indices, and of course we have an NFP also on Friday. So nothing has really changed. I still like that level. I could see price navigating a bit more in here. If price does want to go higher, then it can still go a little bit more to the upside. Again, something else that can happen. We're going to talk a bit more of that when looking at the FX pairs, which is price can actually, if you have a range that you are looking for price to go towards to, for example, if you have a range that maybe this level is still, this level maybe still be fresh and that level may still be fresh and price is kind of bit in the middle. Before the news is like a few days before, kind of the week, which will be a few days before, maybe price wants to go there and there, collect the orders, empty the orders in here. So then when the news comes out, it's free to either break one or the other side. So those are maybe potential setups that you can look for as well. Now, Nasdaq hasn't even managed to break that high. Again, as you mentioned, there's maybe still that level in there that Nasdaq can go and react from. Same situation as the S&P. I don't really think that this is still the low on Nasdaq. I think Nasdaq can go slightly lower and maybe can even fill out this, but maybe before that you can have a retracement before maybe price pushing lower. Dow ended up reacting from that level that you mentioned yesterday, so that was a nice reaction. So let it also range a little bit more. Again, you end up creating that liquidity in there, so maybe can react from here. We already have this high as well, this high, and maybe turning a little bit like that. So maybe there can be another reaction from here until pushing at least towards this level. Otherwise, then can just compress, eventually compress until it gets closer to the highs. But this is already a good level. We looked for it, so that demand zone was basically ignored on the way down. So that's always a good level to expect price to react to on the way back, and it did just like that. And then yeah, DAX just continues to be within this range. Bitcoin, that's one that we were looking for. So unfortunately for me, it hasn't yet reacted from what I was looking for. I was looking slightly higher on the price to fake out actually this double top in there. I think it just fake out this one, and yeah, it did. And after that, it started to move lower. What we also mentioned yesterday, it was the break of this wall. Right? So we had broken already this wall in here, so that's something that we need to pay attention as well when price is moving to the upside. Right? If it breaks a wall and starts opening the door a little bit more to downside, even if after that we break new highs, eventually that will a price eventually is going to retest that level, which is basically what we have in here, especially if we are getting closer to important level on the left side. That's exactly the type of approach that you want to look for in here. So there you go, that's what we have as well in here. So again, we'll see price by any chance goes there, and at this point we have this structure in there that price can end up going and reacting from. Ethereum also react from the previous level support resistance somewhere in there. Now it's back into this level, and now we are basically stuck within this level. So you can go higher, you can go lower, you can fake out that level, can go there, can maybe even go slightly lower, react from this level as well, or then eventually even from here. So we do have a little bit of few zones in here that Ethereum can play with at this point. So I'm also trying to move down again. This is an important tool, and as long as it holds and can challenge a bit more to the upside, we're getting closer to those highs in there. If we do break that, then maybe can go all the way. Eventually we'll test something in here. So we'll see what's going to happen on Solana in there. Then we have the Euro index, which, as we mentioned, it hasn't really closed the gap in there, which means that still looking for this Euro index to go slightly lower, which means maybe Euro dollar and the Euro pairs can go slightly lower in here. Basically just reacted from that previous level of support resistance somewhere in there, and now is creating a double bottom. But as I mentioned, I'm still looking for this one to be at least filled, and if not, and can even go further down after that as well. But maybe perhaps a level in there to expect the Euro pairs perhaps continue to move lower in here. Again, can even retest there and move to the downside from here. And then the end pairs, that's going to be the big one as well, especially on Tuesday, on Wednesday, when you have the Bank of Japan interest rate decision. Again, there are two things that they can do. I think they're going to start with quantitative tightening, so stop with buying bonds in the Japanese bonds. And then the second thing, which may be too much, it will be to hike again the interest rate. Right? So let's see if they're going to do both of them, at least one of them. So we'll see what's going to happen, and that definitely is going to have an impact on the yen index and the yen pairs. So we are still stuck within this range. So we had that big push to the upside, then we have a correction straight away, and it's normal when price moves quickly up and down. Eventually it needs to slow down, right? It needs to be some kind of agreement, or the buyers and the sellers, they need to start trying to get into an agreement of which one is which ones are in control in here. Is it the buyers, is it the sellers? We'll see. So that can happen sometimes before actually then the high is created, or can maybe just happen after, especially when price is quite quick, both to the upside and to the downside in here. So we'll see. And price is reacting from a valid level in there. The high also is reacting from a valid level. So that's not exactly complete open space at this point in here. That's why I need to carry on, paying a bit more attention to see what's going to happen in here. We're looking for more clues at this point. We can try to see where are the fresh levels. Yes, there's maybe something in there still fresh. Even in here also maybe there's something still fresh in there. But that doesn't mean, that just means basically that price can react from there towards the next level. But that doesn't really mean that's going to be the moment that price is going to do this, or the moment that price is going to do that. All right, so again, a little bit indecision again on the on the pairs last week was a bit more clear of what you're looking for. Now, looking at the individual currency pairs, right? This is what we had on the euro, right? So we managed to break below that. We managed to break below this low in here, and in my opinion, that's an engulf down. Even if the euro dollar by any chance comes all the way back in here, that for me it will be even better, because I'm going to be looking for something like that to happen in here. So if by any chance euro dollar wants to just now start retesting from here and go higher, that's amazing. That for me is an engulf to downside. That for me price wants to go lower. If the euro dollar goes straight away already from here, then we're going to see eventually where this low actually end up reacting from. It's actually a nice level, so it's kind of in the middle, and price broke it. I don't really value that much this lows in there, so that for me is an engulf to downside. So euro, I do believe that it wants to go lower. Now question mark is from where. Again, price kept respecting this level. We may have left still that level in there and that level in there as well. Now created this one in here, and of course you do have this previous support resistance as well. So we'll see from where it's going to go, and should be expecting even price to just maybe react from here and go higher. This personally is not exactly my favorite at this point. Yeah, just gain momentum straight away, not exactly my favorite. But again, this is opening the door to go further down, which means that our index can still go slightly higher as well, which still has a little bit of space. And to be honest, below that, yeah, euro dollar has potentially a lot of space to fill in here. There you go. Nice small engulf, and those are the ones that you want to pay attention to. So this morning it was a really good move to the downside, and yeah, nice compression there. After that, yeah, nice break, and expectation to go further down. Can react a little bit from here, maybe react a little bit from there, and even then go lower as well. So we'll see. Again, it has been quite bearish already since basically 2 weeks ago, but 10 days ago, that we have been moving to the downside. Eventually, you can have that retracement. Eventually, pound made a really big move, so pound now is reacting from a better level comparing with yesterday or last week. So basically, pound was reacting from a little bit of this upper edge in the upper zone with this within this level, but not exactly anything relevant, and it's much better where it is right now. It actually reacted from that demand zone. I was looking even slightly lower. That's already a good level. It's also in alignment with these zones in there, but that's a good one on the pound dollar where it reacted from, and we'll see. So it ended up respecting this level this morning, start a really big move to downside, and then it just turned. It left basically that level a little bit underneath, so we'll see around this level what's going to happen. But I'm much happier with where price is reacting right now, right? So basically close the spice from all this move to downside, especially after breaking that one of these lows. It literally opened the door, and now it's reacting from a much better level comparing with where it was last week. So now I'm okay in terms of the buyer starting to gain control on the pound dollar. Price by any chance still carry on breaking a bit more, then you're starting to look for price having that space as well and start getting somewhere closer to this level in here. So that's just something to bear in mind, and let's see if we are not going to have some kind of manipulation around this level with price taking maybe this double bottom and going to the upside. After that, in that case, these lows would manage to be the bottom for now and hold price in there. So yeah, that's just something to pay attention to on the pound dollar. I think it's starting to potentially look for those bigger longs potentially, and pushing eventually price towards this level, basically filling all this space in here. Yeah, that looks nice. Euro pound, it was one that also went all the way, so we created this momentum in here. So it was a really nice move in there. This is some prediction that can still happen. So we managed to go all the way, basically broke slightly. We basically retested those highs in here on the left, may have broken a little bit of that one. So we noticed and we mentioned that this demand zone was still fresh and price can slow down a little bit now, eventually react from there and try to challenge at least this level in here, or at least this level also in here, which is the previous range. You do have this previous demand zone that price broke it and work a little bit as a supply. There's maybe that potential at least until this level, if not even there, and then can even resume to the upside again. So let's see what kind of PI we're going to have in here. I'd like to see some kind of compression and starting to give signs that maybe wants to go higher before even reacting from it and to turn. Is price going to even fake out this level, get a bit closer to there maybe, but maybe this is enough for now, at least faking out these lows. But that's a potential setup also that can happen either tomorrow or maybe Wednesday, especially for Thursdays with the Bank of England. Maybe that's the moment that you can have also some volatility momentum in here on the euro pound. Aussie pairs and the Aussie dollar, right? So it still managed to respect that high. I think there is no break. There is no break, so it kind of respected that structure. We retested now the demand zone. Again, personally, the Aussie, it could retrace. Again, it has been so bearish for many days, which means that we could have definitely a retracement, or a retracement to be about to happen. However, in my opinion, the low in here is still not that great, which means that I'm still going to be expecting eventually Aussie dollar to get a bit lower. It can even target that low and get into this level. I think that will be a much better level. But price doesn't just move in a straight line, as you know, right? So it takes time sometimes. Yes, price already moved quite a lot in this. It created this strong bearish move for many days in a row. And now it's about time to start slowing down a little bit. Maybe create a little bit of a range, start creating some kind of compression to potentially eventually target this low in there. With this type of move, yeah, somewhere in here, or even reacting from some of the structure, it's a reasonable level to look for in there. So we'll see what's going to happen on the Aussie, but personally I do think that this Aussie dollar still wants to go a bit more to the downside in here, but for now is holding at level. New Zealand is actually holding the low as well, so went all the way to the extreme, reacting from that demand zone, something that we also looked for yesterday, but we haven't really managed to break any highs to the upside yet. Basically, the way price is moving, as you can see, respect to that level, carry on going, creates a new level in there, keep respecting the high, carry on. So we haven't really managed to break any specific high in here, and the move has been so clean to the downside that eventually I could actually see price breaking this low, which this low is still kind of a bit in the middle comparing with where this low is. So this low actually managed to break that low. Yes, it reacted maybe from the upper edge of something in there, but I do think there's still levels underneath this low that price can start using and to push a little bit more to the upside. So this way, at this point, I think can be used a little bit as liquidity. There's maybe straight away level in there, and then there's a little bit more of a favorite, but preferable level at the bottom. But we do need to see PI in this case, and then you can of course still look even further left to see actually where this low is reacting from, which is in there. It's a really good level, and yeah, at this point maybe you can just break out this low and go with it. Again, price has been respecting the highs as well, so we'll see. That's maybe a little bit of an opportunity in here. Again, New Zealand, similar to the Aussie dollar, also has been moving to the downside quite aggressively in the last few days, which means that can be closer to a retracement in here. So under retracement, where can it go towards to? Maybe just separate this level in here, can maybe approach that level. Of course, first and foremost, this new compression in there, so that high can be potentially a target, and then can even go slightly higher in here. But yeah, that's a little bit of what I'm looking in here on New Zealand. Yes, price respected really nicely the low on the left. I'm already looking for that low actually to be taken as well. We haven't really, again, as I mentioned, broken any highs on the way down. That takes us into the other Aussie pairs. Again, Euro Aussie, perfect move. So that's something that you're looking for. They are now creating this range, so price went up and down in here, and that level can still be quite nice for price to react from, especially if price starts creating this liquidity in here. And again, we are at this point getting closer to break this double bottom. We do have this level that you are looking for as well, for price to move towards to. Yeah, depending on how price may navigate between these levels, maybe that level can still be an interesting zone to look for a sell after faking out all this structure in there. Yeah, first target maybe somewhere in there, and then you can look for price to go somewhere in there as well on the Euro Aussie. And then you have also Pound Aussie making a really nice move in here. So already basically reached the target that we were looking for. So from that break of fake out of that high that we talked about last week, beautiful move, it now reached the target, which was basically just to retest of this previous level of support resistance. That's basically a typical trade that you can expect. After faking out an important high on the left, which is already close to these highs, yeah, look for the PI, and the first target, one of the first targets, is just to react from the previous higher time frame level of structure, which is basically where price reacted right now. We also have a demand zone in there, so it's a beautiful move. Price started to also create some double bottoms in there, so great to collect liquidity, and now price is breaking down, already broke to the upside as well. So we'll see how price may react from here on the Pound Aussie, right? So Pound Aussie, as I mentioned, already reacted from one of the targets. Euro Aussie kind of still needs to make that move down. Yeah, now we fake out this high, so we'll see what's going to happen around this level now, a bit more in the middle manipulation. And yeah, curious to see if price does get closer to that level, if there's going to be a new short opportunity, then push price lower. There, and now takes us into the yen pairs. So yen pairs is similar to yen index, it's just in this range. So again, looking to see if this Aussie yen gets a little bit below these levels and potentially go higher. That could be something to bear in mind. We did manage to take these highs in here, so that's something to bear in mind in here on the Aussie yen. But with the Aussie dollar as well, potentially still wanting to go lower, and maybe even the yen index potentially wants to retest that level, we may have actually this Aussie yen moving a little bit more closer to here. I do like still this level. We can even fake out this low, or can just react from somewhere in there. So that's one of the yen pairs. Again, we need to see a little bit more. Dollar yen as well, kind of a bit more in this range, reacted literally from that previous low in there, which again we have now a double bottom basically, and eventually be faked out. And we even have a demand zone still around here. We have also all these lows. So I don't know, maybe even breaking the high first, or starting to track something in here could be reasonable. And pushing higher. Depends on the dollar as well, of course. Dollar yen, what's going to do? But the main one, again, let's see if we're going to have even any type of movement away from here before Wednesday morning, when you do have the Bank of Japan interest rate decision. Yeah, this one is still okay in there. Euro yen also doing a bit more of the same, so kind of hold that level. We do have all these lows in here to break out, which can happen, start compressing a little bit, so we could respect this level. Euro yen is reacting from a good level on the left side, so basically we are reacting from there. It's basically the origin of this big push to the upside. So that's a nice initial reaction, and also we can potentially still react from something in here. So on the lower time frame, we are looking for price maybe to take either that low or even that one as well, and get closer to here before it should move. But yeah, we still need kind of a break of a high as well in there. So we'll see. Again, I do want this, at least this will be faked out. So I want it to go lower. Preferably, yes, getting closer somewhere in there before the turn. Pound yen actually fake out that exactly that low that I mentioned now on the Euro yen. Pound yen already fake out that level, reacted perfectly from that zone in there. Again, the compression now kind of retesting this level in here. So we'll see. We do have this break to the upside. There's a clear break in here on the pound yen. So curious to see now, see how price may react from there. This high missed that level, So we may have a little bit of a reaction from that zone. We did manage to break that level as well. So again, it's an interesting one as price is navigating now within this range with that break to the upside, basically opening the door for price to go higher in there. So price can still react from that level. Again, they eventually can have the continuation to the downside. This is okay level where price is reacting from, but eventually can still go lower. Basically, for example, euro yen is already reacting from here. On the end is still just reacting from this level in the middle. But for now, we can actually have something like that going all the way back somewhere into some structure in there as a level to retrace. So we will see what's going to happen in there as well. But yeah, that level can still be interesting to look for. But you do have this break to the upside. You had a double top, price broke it, and yeah, that makes it a bit more bullish in here. At pairs, there you go. Right? So we're getting, or we got really close now to the high. So we finally fake out that high that I mentioned. So price had fake out that level, not this one, and now it managed to fake out in here, and you may start going. Oh, at this point, I think we are getting closer to a potential level that we can finally turn. So price is reacting already from that level in there. I'm not sure if yes, I do have it. So it's a really clean supply level that we have in there, just above the double top. And from here, and eventually we can still go somewhere in there, we may have a clear move to look for on the dollar card, and you may get really close to the reversal. So a lot of this is compressed. Today price reacted from the demand zone and start moving upwards. So there is a lot of compression in here. One of the first targets maybe can go or can be the retest of this level. Of course, first and foremost, just the retest of this level is more than valid. And yes, somewhere around this level, we may have the PI to potentially turn. It's going to also depend on what the dollar is going to do. But I do like the compression quite a lot. Still kind of missing a clear proper break of a low in here, but the compression is quite amazing. And this can lead eventually into that big turnaround in here. You can take a look at the other card pairs and looking at the euro card. So euro card also managed to break this new low, broke that structure as well, broke that low. So interested to see how price may react from there. So with respect to the extreme of that high, it can also eventually go a little bit more to the upside, can eventually still fake out that high and move lower, looking at it level as a potential target. But for now, really nice move. So we started to break that low, we had fake out, good compression. So this is a typical pattern that we look for to trade in here. Unfortunately, kind of open, or it happened overnight, basically. Yeah, overnight, not exactly the timing to look for the trade, but this is definitely something that we're looking for. And we also managed to break new low, so we can continue to open the door for this one to eventually fill this compression, and eventually I'm looking for price to get at least closer to that zone. Attention now is if price by any chance still holds this level and starts pushing higher. So if price does react from that level and starts pushing higher, then that's maybe the moment that we can even fake out this highs before moving in here. If price just goes like this without even retesting this level, then maybe somewhere in there can still be a potential short opportunity to look for on the euro card. It was a nice one. It was a really nice move in here. Yeah, nice clean move on euro card. So that's another one. So we have dollar card getting really close to that high. We have euro card also doing the same, and then we have pound card that we already been looking for also for 2 weeks now, which again reacted from this left shoulder in there. Really nice reaction. So we had broken that low, so we mentioned that price wanted to go lower, it retraced all the way and now made another big move down, reacting from this basically that demand zone in there. There's still a level in there that price can go towards too. Basically price is really close to that, so we'll see what's going to happen. We are still reacting from that big high or massive or important high on the left side all the way back from 2020. Above that, then we go into that structure. We're still ranging a little bit in here. Managed to break a little bit of a low in there, but you haven't really managed to break properly a low in here. So you see, interesting enough, even with the trend line, basically price respected this one in there. Like, yeah, so now I went with that one. So it's going to be another one to pay attention to. Again, all this move, or most of this move to the upside, was also due to the strong pound that we had in the afternoon. So we'll see what's going to happen in here, but I'm still okay. Actually looking a bit for a move. Let's see what's going to happen. It's one to follow. So the cut pairs, definitely, I think there's going to be ones to follow at this point. The Aussie pairs, I still want to see a little bit more closer to the upside, either the pound Aussie or the euro Aussie, and eventually Aussie dollar also would like to see moving lower. New Zealand, after taking the low, I'm curious to see. Euro dollar, let's see how price may react with this break of the low. Pound dollar already reacted nicely from that level, so we can start eventually going a little bit more to the upside, but we do have now this supply there, and we have a little bit of a zone in here. Yes, we can maybe create some structure and push higher from where it is right now. So that's something also to look at. Looking at dollar franc Swiss, it reacted also really nicely from that level, and we are within this range, right? That's basically what we've been looking for. Again, price can get closer to that, and it can even fake out this high into that supply level that was left behind. So that could actually occur as well. At this point, it's in the middle, so we'll see what's going to happen on dollar franc Swiss. But I'm looking a bit more closer to the extremes of either the lows or the highs. We're looking for a setup. Gold is retracing again in here. In my opinion, it hasn't really created the low. I think gold does want to continue to move slightly lower, so I'll see how price may react from one of these levels in here. Yep, so we'll see what's going to happen on gold. Switching in the middle now of this big structure. Oil finally managed to break. So oil broke that mid structure that was in there, and now is reacting from this next level that we're looking for. Right, that was a level that Brent had already reacted and then moved a little bit to the upside. So again, this is the moment that we are having a little bit of a compression in here. Price basically going down, kind of retracing, having deep retracements. Check out even this small high in there. Now moves to the downside again, looking for price to continue with some kind of compression. Again, normal reaction from here. It's an important level, but at this point just retested the previous level of support resistance, and basically that's the range that we are at this point, and eventually can go slightly lower, a little bit more, maybe closer to this level. We could compress a little bit now, showing some weakness until eventually turns. And if that's the idea of oil, maybe you're respecting this level, eventually challenging to go back to or close to $80 mark in here. But yes, as you can see, basically price is just reacting now from that level on the left side towards this previous level support resistance in here. And Brent, which already had created that move, right? So Brent had already reacted from this level and pushed higher, and now we are getting closer to this low in there. So that's Brent. So we'll see. I'm curious to see what's going to happen somewhere around this level in here. Again, it can slow down a little bit, it can retrace, and maybe just go from here, retrace a little bit, and then just resume to move to the downside. So at this point is starting to compress, starting to lose a little bit of momentum. So we'll see. That's basically it for tomorrow. So cut pairs, that's something that I'll be paying attention to. Euro dollar, it was a really interesting break to the downside, so that's more slightly bigger picture, because of course that's just a clue for this week. It's such an important low, or in the middle, that price actually could retrace from here. I think they engulfed there and starting to retrace. Yeah, that's something that I'll be paying attention to. So if by any chance price creates some kind of PI and starts moving like this, that may be perfect. And then on Wednesday, or whatever it may be, maybe when price perhaps get closer to this level, can have a massive sell opportunity in here. So a lot of this has been already reacted from or taken. Eventually price can just navigate in here. Can be with the job openings, for example, tomorrow can create some momentum. We'll see, but for now we still have this structure to look for. Yes, it's an important one. The price does want to perhaps already go straight away more downside. We'll see. But now we are basically in the middle in here on euro dollar, between basically that low and that high, which means that we may get in closer to potentially deeper retracement. We'll see. Maybe target is above all, check out that, and after that go to the upside. That's just something also pay attention to. Found this a bit more reversing, so it reacted nicely from that level. Yeah, it could create some kind of manipulation around here before pushing higher. That's it. So yeah, indices, we'll see what's going to happen within the range. Dollar index can go slightly higher before maybe correcting a little bit till eventually continues to go higher. Pound dollar, euro dollar, and so on could start having this retracement a bit more to the upside, targeting into today's highs as a level in there. Aussie pairs, I would like them to go slightly more close to the extreme. CAD pairs, I think they are getting really close to a potential level, especially with dollar CAD now, with the fake out of that previous high on the left side. Oil is getting closer. Gold, it's in the middle, not really interested at this point. And Bitcoin just already made the move to the downside that I was looking for. I need to wait and see as well. That's it. Thank you very much, guys. I'll see you tomorrow for another one. Thank you. Bye bye.